The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of March 11th, 2019. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. With me, as always, Kevin Reevy. What up, Reevy?
Hi.
CJ, what up?
Hello, hello.
Everybody, make sure to go to mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. Click the link at the top, find your new show that you want to listen to, and it'll take you to a page. It'll take you to the platform that you want to listen to it on. It's very
www dot, right? You got to do the www.mbnnetwork.com.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you don't.
I think I know what I'm talking about.
You don't need to anymore.
You
We
don't.
live in an advanced society.
And this is an advanced website.
You need to do the https://www dot. Listen, details matter. I don't know where you're sending people to on the interwebs right now, but
It's true.
you need the details matter. So don't forget the colon comes before the backslashes. I'm just looking out for the audience right now.
Don't do that.
I before E.
All right, listen. So this is the episode before the season finale. That's right. Next week is the season finale of Might Be Sports. It's been a fantastic inaugural season. And I'm looking at both of you guys. You guys have done a fantastic fucking job this season. It's been magnificent. This is 26 episodes in. It's absolutely fantastic. It's bigger than anything that I thought it would be at this point. We're taking about a month off. We all need it. But thank you so much to all the people out there listening. And I hope that you guys continue to listen even when we come back. It's just been phenomenal. mbnnetwork.com. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the season finale of Might Be Novak and Franz.
Might be Novak and Franz.
I need a fucking break, you know? Novak and Franz season finale is on Thursday. And the season finale of Might Be Brews is on Friday.
Can we do a new podcast?
CJ, did I do that correctly? I did that right?
We do a new podcast called Might Be Novak and Franz, and it's only me every week.
Talking about Novak and Franz?
But it's teased as it might be a Novak and Franz.
And every now and then maybe it is.
And every week I show up, I was like, guys, Novak and Franz couldn't make it today. But we're going to talk about what happened on Survivor last night. And then that's like every episode. And then like the season finale, Novak and Franz show up and they say, yo, sorry, we actually got to run. And then I'll talk about Survivor again for the rest of the episode. And that'll be like 28 episodes of Might Be Novak and Franz.
I'll tell you, on a serious note, very seriously, I am open to the idea of having a limited release Game of Thrones podcast. I'm interested.
Nice.
I'm interested in talking about it. We talk more about it on break. I forget exactly when it starts, and maybe we'll be still on break when it's over, but I don't know.
That really makes, GOAT of the week potential.
Wow.
GOT.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
It's the God of the week.
Yeah.
So we had a chance to sit down with three members of the Brandywine Roller Derby with the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. It's a very cool interview. Check it out. With us this week on Might Be Sports, the Brandywine Roller Derby. We have three members here. One at a time. Say your names for me.
So I am Intoxiscate. Mulan Rude, hello.
Yes.
And I'm Thresher.
Derby names.
Intoxiscate. I love it.
That's incredible.
That's pretty sweet.
You get it? It's punny.
I get it. I get all of them. That's fantastic. One more time just for the people in the back. Say it again.
I'm Intoxiscate, or Tox for short.
Okay.
Mulan Rude, or Rude.
Nice.
And I'm Thresher.
Okay.
So Intoxiscate, like when you knock a girl over or whatever, you say I'm drunk with power.
I should now. I'm gonna
that
start
should be your
now.
catchphrase.
It should be. Usually I just grunt and hurry away. But
So
I'm going for that now.
roller derby.
So wait, what's the name of you guys have a name for your team? What's the name of your team?
So we have three teams. I'm gonna let our head coach tell you about our wonderful teams. We have three of them. Here you go.
All right, so our three teams, our all-star team is the Belligerents. They play other leagues' charter rosters for rankings. and the Belligerents are currently ranked 80 in the world. Our B team is the Brawlers, and our C team is the Brute Squad.
Wow, so 80th in the world. 80th in the world.
Yes.
That's incredible. So who do you guys compete against? What like do you compete on a world stage, or is this?
Yeah, we have a tournament this May in Canada.
Okay.
We've played a few years ago. We played Victoria from Australia, and they are currently like 1 or 2 in the world. They weren't ranked then when we played them, but they kind of beat the snot out of us.
Wow.
We've played teams from all over the country.
This year, the Belligerents and the Brawlers are going to Cincinnati and I think Columbus as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to Ohio this season.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I mean, I kind of like briefly got into roller derby through a friend a few years ago, probably like 2015, and I knew nothing about it. And I went to one. I'm like, holy shit! This was like seeing Survivor for the first time. Like, this is entertaining. This is amazing. This is awesome. So like, what could you tell people like who think that it's only like, you know, girls just like knocking each other over? Like, this is a sport. This is like a real. It's really entertaining. It's awesome. Like, what could you tell people that they don't know about the sport?
So it's not like the 60s or 70s where it was like WWE stuff. Now it's like a legitimate contact sport. So you've got plays like football, it's jukey, like basketball. But the difference really, Kick Ash, one of our teammates says this all the time. You've got roller derby and you've got men's derby. So when you say roller derby, you're talking about that female-dominated sport as opposed to soccer, women's soccer, and stuff like that. So that's what makes it so cool. And it's just this huge group of confident, strong women that build each other up to be their best selves. It's sick.
That sounds sick.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you guys are just straight trashing each other throughout the game, though.
Nah.
No, like I mean, like
Sometimes.
collisions and stuff, like
Sometimes.
just beating each other up, like a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't mean like ice hockey or anything, but is it the same kind of contact? Like you
Well,
guys are
there's
just
no-
smashing into each other?
No more elbows like
Okay.
it was back in the day.
What are some of the
Um,
rules like that?
Mm,
No
bra-
elbows.
Bra straps are your legal zones. No up the butt.
Okay.
Can't hit someone.
No butt punching.
No. Well, you can butt punch.
You can punch them in the butt.
You
into
can punch with your butt.
your butt. With your butt.
With the butt.
That's a butt punch.
Okay. Okay.
What else?
There's no like you can't make fists and punch people.
Yes, that is bad.
Okay. So
You
no
use your-
punching each
You
other.
basically use your sides and your hips and your butt to knock people out of bounds or stop them or push them through or whatever.
But yeah, you have like full body hits to take people out. I mean, you can't throw elbows, punch, hit to the head, or like side tackle or anything like that. But it is a full contact sport.
So for those of us like myself who doesn't know, what is the objective of the game? So like in football, obviously touchdowns, basketball, baskets. What is the objective of roller derby?
Sure, I'll say a little bit. So it's kind of I like to say it is like Quidditch a little bit.
Okay.
On wheels because there's one snitch, there's one person ripping around the track as fast as they can per team. So there's 2 total, and everybody else is just trying to help their person, that is called a jammer, get through. They are the only people that score points. Everybody else is blocking or trying to get their jammer through or stopping the other jammer. So it's offense and defense at the same time, which is pretty unique and cool.
All while only moving in one direction. That's excellent.
Mostly.
Mostly. Okay.
So is there trash talk that goes on during these things? I mean, because I'm trying to remember when I was watching it back then. I can't recall like if I could hear anything going down. Like, are you guys like cognizant of that? Do you like whisper stuff to each other? So
I think it honestly depends on the people. Like, I'm totally oblivious what the other team is saying 90% of the time. I'm just focused on my teammates and getting my jammer's point to get her points. But I know some people definitely do talk trash to each other. And
Yeah. Normal sports stuff,
I
right?
don't talk trash, but I get super turned. I love to hit people.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Just smashing into people, right?
I think that would be
Yes.
kind of like the secret sauce to a team. Like have that person that's going to say some really messed up things. Like
There are
there's some stuff
There are
that just
definitely
like
some out there.
Like when you say like you don't pay attention to what they're saying, like what if they're saying some really like weird things?
You need someone that knows how to push the boundary
Yeah.
to say some real fucked up shit.
Okay, so at our one tournament last year in Baltimore, we barked at people while we were on the track. We bark and we stomp at them, and they were freaked out. It was amazing.
I
It was
love
my
that.
favorite. It was my favorite moment ever.
Well, that's funny because I was gonna say like as a suggestion, what if you did a little research? You go to somebody and said like something like messed up, like I hope your dog dies, and then name their
now
dog,
that's messed up.
and then name
That's
their
messed
dog,
I
up.
have like research, like in our
Yeah.
back. All right, like number 121
Yeah.
has 2 cats.
and
Like-
find out what the
like-
names of the cats are, and
Yeah,
say
that's
I hope your cats
All right.
died tomorrow, and then say yeah, Boots and Charlie, I hope they die tomorrow.
They're done
And they
for the
look at you
game.
like
They're done.
Or even worse, find
Game
one that
over.
just had a pet die and
Oh,
find out about it.
oh no, we're-
We're
Why
supposed
not?
to be about uplifting.
Yeah.
right.
No, you're supposed to be uplifting your team. The other team, screw them.
I
Yeah,
feel like
that's a
for
good
me,
point,
at
CJ.
least, for me personally, I do not have the bandwidth to know what's going on and spit out trash talk at the same time. Like
Right.
I just can't. I can't do it because a huge part of it is just telling your teammates like they're coming up behind you or over here or they're on me or whatever. And there's a lot of like lingo you have to say while it's all happening because it's so pure chaotic. So I couldn't even fathom. If you were trash talking me, that's because you're solid. So you earned it.
Maybe like a lesser,
You know?
like every team has a guy, you know, in like basketball, hockey, whatever, like guy way at the end of the bench, not talented enough to really be on the team, like, you know, athletically, but they're willing to do and say anything.
Maybe
That's
we should
what I'm
have
talking
like
about.
rap battles to see who's like quick on their feet and like that
Yeah.
or something.
should.
We
That should be
incorporate
part
that
of
in
it.
the tryouts later.
They should have to do research, and like part of the interview process is they have to say one really messed up thing at the end.
I like it.
And the most like sadistic one is like, all right,
That's the
she's
one.
on the team.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Well, hey, they are on the team now. We're all gender now.
that's true.
Brandywine roller derby.
It
is
used to
all
be
gender. That is
Brandywine Roller Girls.
atypical. Yeah, we changed our name in 2016. So come one, come all, skate with us.
Does everybody play together though on the same team?
For
Okay.
the most part, yep.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. I didn't know if it was like different leagues, different divisions, whatever. What are you guys' positions on the team? I heard them say you're the coach.
Yeah, I'm head coach this year,
Okay.
but I'm primarily a blocker.
Okay.
And I am El Presidente.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
Madam President, if you will. Mostly a blocker. I got a big butt. Put it to use.
butt punching
Yes.
is your thing.
They're both amazing at it. So I am. What am I? Oh, I'm.
Jammer.
I am a jammer.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I like to try to be everything, but I'm a terrible blocker at the moment.
No.
At the moment, I'm working on it.
Wait, the jammer is the star, right?
The point they wear a star.
Ah,
So, you know
So you're like the
stuff.
snitch then to
Yeah,
in
yes.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
where I
the
like
Quidditch
being.
context. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
super
pretty cool.
fun. I'm also captain of the. I want to toot my horn a little bit. I'm captain of the Brawlers, and I am the head of community outreach and engagement.
Very cool.
That's my full title. I gotta get a card.
and you had a pretty gruesome injury.
oh,
recently.
yes, let's talk about
Did
that.
somebody butt punch you?
Yes. I wish it was cool enough that somebody did anything, but they got it on video, and literally it was just me tripping over my own feet, and I broke my leg. It was
Damn.
terrible, but I'm back, and it was amazing because the whole team. I have had literally every single person on the team reach out to me on their own and be like, "Are you good? What do you need today? Are you all right?" So it was a very much an eye-opening experience for me. Not only like, hey, you should probably not be an idiot in scrimmages, but also this is your second family, and it's really cool. So I broke my bones, but I learned a great lesson.
That's awesome.
So there was silver linings, you know.
You mentioned tryouts. How does the recruitment process happen? How do people register for this? What do they do? How do they find you?
Facebook mostly.
Facebook. Okay.
Yep, and we just tell them, show up. You don't even have to know how to skate. We'll teach you. We've got an amazing new skater coach, Kick Ash, who's just flipped the program completely upside down. And she's had them in contact for months. Surprise.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, twice a year is what we're shooting for if we're having our new skater program. We're wrapping up our spring one, but then August or September we'll have another one in the fall.
Very cool.
I feel like I keep going to dark places, but like what's the most like gruesome injury you've seen or heard of or experienced yourself?
My first game when I was either scorekeeping or penalty box, I don't even remember. And this was like 3 years ago. I saw someone's ankle break and there was a bone outside of the skin.
Yeah.
I will never forget that because I was looking right at it. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Did they get butt punched?
I don't
I'm just curious. I'm just curious how effective this is. I mean, I need to
think
go
they
see
do.
this, and I don't know if it's just because of that or what.
See
Yeah,
it.
come
Yeah.
see one of our
Mhm.
games.
That sounds pretty incredible.
That's where you
Dedicated butt
bring that
punch.
person off the bench and they come out and say, look at the bone. Look at what we did to you. Look at it.
I like that. I like
Punched you with my butt so hard,
Yeah.
son of a bitch. So, all right. As far as like thrill of victory, agony of defeat things, what was like the biggest moment that you guys would say that you've had as far as like best game won, biggest comeback? Like, how does that work for you guys?
So I've played with the Belligerents for, I think this will be my 7th season, maybe 6th season. But in 2016, we went to playoffs. We won our playoffs and then went to championships and took 2nd in our division.
That's excellent. How does playoffs work for you guys? How many like teams are there in the playoffs? When does it start? How long does it go?
Well, they've kind of changed it a little bit every season, but up to, I would say, like the top 50 or 60 get some sort of playoffs time. The top, I think, 35-ish is Division 1, and then after the next 18-ish is the Division 2. And so the top 12 from the Division 1 playoffs go to championships. The year that we went to champs was last year. Division 2 went to champs as well.
Okay. How long has your team been around? How long has your organization been around?
We were birthed in December 2010.
Okay.
Yep. So we've been around a decent amount of time. And then 2013, we actually became a full WFDA member, which is the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. 2014, first time at D2 playoffs. 2016, baller year when we were at champs in Portland, Oregon. And then 2019, this is the year we opened it to male skaters.
Wow.
Yeah.
And anybody in between.
Yeah.
All genders.
All genders. What's the usual age bubble for this? Like what's the age range on your team, on your squad?
So I think you have to be 18 or older to join. But I think we have people up to 55 plus, we'll say.
That's
We have
crazy.
everybody. We got everybody. There's no age limit.
What happened? When was the first time that you decided, like, this is what I want to do? Like, what made you decide it? Did you see it somewhere? Did somebody tell you about it? Like, how did that play out for you guys?
My older sister actually used to play, and she bugged me for about a year. And then I finally gave in. I was like, please shut up. I'll go to one practice. And I've been with it for 4 years. I got into it. Usually find derby in times of trouble. So I had a lot of work stress, a lot of relationship crap going on. And I was like, this is the place to get it out. It's amazing. So highly suggest it.
I think a lot of people crave that kind of thing where you go to your office job or whatever you do and like life gets pretty monotonous. You're doing the same thing over and over again. And whether you're turning to like a rec basketball league or a poker game, once a week, get your heart racing, or, roller derby, makes a lot of sense. I think people like in their very like basic sense, like animalistic, like you want to be out there, like running around, knocking people over, trying to accomplish a goal. Because, when we were all cave people, we had to go out and hunt, knock people over for the prize boar or whatever they had back in cave people days. Mammoths.
Yeah.
So
tigers.
right.
Oh my.
That was roller derby back then. So I mean,
After the invention of the wheel.
this all makes me think that I need my own roller derby.
We're right here.
I don't have a roller derby.
We're
But
right
you
here.
could.
Brandywine. Join us.
I'm also afraid of compound fractures. Not a big fan. So there's that.
Those are few and far between.
I
Dude,
do
if you were
feel-
on the roller derby team, I would be there to support you 1,000%.
See,
So
I'm-
would I.
What would
When
your
you-
name be?
Oh,
Ultimate Survivor.
I like it. Yeah,
I just came up with that.
yeah. I don't know.
That's got to happen.
How did we
I'm
not?
making T-shirts.
How did we not prep this show with our roller derby names.
Oh.
We totally should have thought about that. That was really dumb. Next week on the season finale, we'll start the show with our roller derby names.
Yeah.
We'll put some thought into it. And then like next season, we'll get shirts made or something.
And just
gonna be
not
good.
play.
Yeah, just not play. We'll show up to the...
We'll be the person at the end of the bench just shouting the insults.
Right.
You're just creating
Wait.
jobs for yourself.
I could
see
be the
what's
person
happening.
at the end of the bench that says a bunch of weird shit. I will do the research. I'm used to it.
That's
I've
exactly
written
what we could do.
books. I'm
We could
used
just
to
go in the
research.
stands and just talk shit on the other team
Yeah.
the entire time. You don't even have to
Right.
pay us. Like it'll just be a thing that happens. Like we could just go and do that. I think that is solid, and we still make T-shirts
Right.
because we're like technically representing the team.
But yo, Sarah, how's your cat Boots doing back home?
Although if you're talking shit, you get to wear the other team's logo.
Ah, true.
Yeah. Remember, we're about uplifting.
Uplifting. No. We're gonna talk shit on the other team. We're gonna be rooting for you guys,
Yeah.
but talking complete shit on them.
Yeah. Knock them down, then uplift them. At the end of the bout, they're called
You have
bouts,
to,
right?
You have to break them to
Bouts.
rebuild them.
Great job out there. Go fuck yourself.
At the end of the bout, be like, when I was like threatening to kill your cat, it was all just gamesmanship. We're cool. Let's go get a beer.
Typical sports shit.
Yeah. So what's coming up for you guys? What do you have? When's the next bout?
2 weeks, Cincinnati.
That's like the
Mhm.
big tournament. Is this like round one?
This is just a game. Our
a
tournament,
regular-
yeah,
So when's the big tournament?
May 3rd to 5th in Waterloo, Canada, wherever that is.
Wow.
North.
North.
North of the
North.
wall.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah, that's good.
So let me see here. So how many games are like in a season for you guys? How does that all work out?
I think it varies, right? It varies from team to team. It's just basically whoever you can line up to play against you.
Okay.
Yeah.
In order to go to playoffs, we have to have 4 before June.
Okay.
And that's for the belligerents. But honestly, it's as many games as we feel like cramming into our schedule.
You say you're going to Cincinnati. Do you travel that distance a lot for games?
Yeah, we're going to Ohio twice. We're going to Canada. We've gone to Texas. We've gone to Kansas, South Carolina, Oregon for playoffs.
So when are you at home next, and where is home? Where can people go to see you guys? Because we've got a lot of local listeners.
We do.
So
Probably
The Philadelphia
April
area.
13th.
April 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Mhm.
where
I
can
would
we
say-
find you guys?
I would say stay tuned on our website. We have a lot of good information coming up on the website.
And what's the name of the website?
BrandywineRollerDerby.com.
Perfect.
Excellent.
We would love for local people to come out. And if you're interested in skating too, find us on Facebook, message us, come out to a game, just talk to one of us. We'd love to have you.
It's a lot of fun.
It
is
sounds
really,
like it.
really entertaining.
It sounds like it. I'm trying to see unlimited butt punching. And I just think that it's a different sport, obviously. I've seen it over the course of the years just randomly like pop up on TV, and I don't even know if it's the same thing exactly that you're talking about. But it all looks crazy to me. Fantastic stuff. You guys didn't finish. You answered the question. How did you guys get into it?
So I work at a bar, and after a scrimmage, I think, or a game or something, they all filed into the bar, and I just fell in love with each and every person because it was the loudest my bar's ever been, and definitely the most fun. And I just said, "What is happening? You all have the same jersey. What is it, and how do I get one?" And they just said, "Show up." And I had legitimately never put on wheels on my feet before, ever. And they were like, "That's cool. Just show up." So I did. I started going to games, and I started managing the penalty box and learning how to run the scoreboard. And then the new skater program rolled around, and the rest is history.
And now you're the golden snitch,
Trying to be, yeah.
pretty much. It's awesome. What about you?
I grew up going to the skating rink with my family, and so I already knew how to skate, and I happened to see that there was a roller derby game happening in my hometown, and I was like, well, let's go see what this is about. And the entire time it was happening, I was sitting there like hitting my husband, being like, I have to figure out how to play this sport. Like, I have to do this. And then we moved to Pennsylvania shortly after that, and I looked up a team, and it was a great way to make friends.
So collectively, when all three of you started, you didn't have skating experience? Or how many of you did? before you started? You said you didn't.
Pressure was born on skates. I am the least coordinated human being in the room for sure, possibly in the hemisphere, and no experience whatsoever.
I mean, I've skated before. My 16th birthday party was at a roller rink.
Okay.
But nothing like
Nothing
derby.
outside of just going to the roller rink and just hanging out.
Nothing outside of that.
Right. And what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I went as a kid growing up. I mean, I had multiple skating birthday parties, but derby, is definitely the most extreme skating.
So, collectively, you would say that you were all three of you were more or less novices when you started, which is encouraging for somebody who might be looking to get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. We're super excited to be here. We super appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, and good luck with everything that you guys got coming up in Ohio and Canada and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And we'll post your guys' social media stuff on the Might Be News Network Facebook, so people can
Sweet.
find you
That'd
guys
be
too.
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Brandywine Roller Derby. We'll be right back after this. MBNnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. Make sure you check out the season finale of Novak and Franz tomorrow, followed by the season finale of Might Be Brews on Friday. It's a full week at the Might Be News Network. Next week is the conclusion of season 1 of the Might Be News Network with the season finales of Might Be News, Relatable Radio, Might Be Sports, and Might Be Tunes. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be a spectacular event. Thank you so much for all the support this season. Really, it means the world to all of us here at the Might Be News Network. From all of us here, thank you so much. Welcome back to Might Be Sports Week 26. That was the Brandywine Roller Derby. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Thank you, Kevin Reevey, for setting that up.
Yeah, that was really cool.
As well as all the other interviews on the show. I want everybody out there to know. Kevin Reevey, with the help of Ryan Spader, books a lot of these interviews that happen here. Kevin Reevey does a lot of them, but Spader was involved in getting T-Mac on here, right?
Right.
Shout out to you. Fantastic job.
Yeah, it's cool. Try to get a good mix. We had we do, basketball. We had Scoopy. We got Spader. We got we had an opportunity for football guys, but just kind of fell through. And with time running out on the season, it's not going to work just right now. But in the future, we're going to have some pretty big, football names out there. And
Andrew DeCecco's did a great job this year for us.
Right. Andrew, he's an
fantastic,
absolute rising star. I mean, he's going to be a big name in football reporting for years to come. So, he's a really great source. We got to use him during the NFL draft. He's going to be a really good asset. He knows all the names. It's ridiculous. This guy's he's a machine when it comes to knowing the guys at the end of the draft you never heard of. You might be a big college football fan, but you don't look at the game the way this guy does. He just lives and breathes it. And for me, who I can't stand minor league football, so I just can't watch college football. Can't do it. But I love.
It's so weird that you can't. It's weird.
I love college basketball, and
very weird.
We got March Madness coming up next week, and that's going to be pretty damn exciting.
Yeah.
That is next week. No, wait, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Right.
Is it next week?
Is it next week?
Next week.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
St. Patty's Day Sunday.
This
right.
month is flying by.
Yeah, it is. Real quick, I want to get into some headlines before we do the rapid fire and a go to the week. The other night, OKC playing at Utah. Altercation that's gone viral at this point involving a fan and Russell Westbrook. And the video that's circulating, if you haven't seen it, is Westbrook basically saying, I'm going to fuck you up, you and your wife, I'm going to fuck you up. And it looks terrible. And when he explained it after the game, he said that the guy was basically, taunting at him and saying, get on your knees like you used to or whatever. it sounds terrible. And the guy told his side of the story, and he says, "Go ice your knees." And I don't know what was said, and because I don't know for a fact what was said, not yet anyway, because that hasn't broken out of the story yet. I can't really make a judgment call on it, but in the mix of all this, Westbrook brought up a very good, interesting point, and that's that NBA players, there's no real barrier between them and the fans, right? You think about every other sport, professional sport, certainly, at least every professional sport that I can think of, there is a definitive barrier between the players and the athletes. Football, baseball, soccer, obviously NASCAR. I mean, you name it, right?
But that's what makes it a big appeal. I mean, I was talking, I think I was talking with CJ about this, or somebody. I was talking with somebody about it a few weeks or months ago, whatever it was. Then I wonder if there's a way where you can get, like where fans can get as close to the game in basketball, if you can have that in other sports, in like football, or there's some way you could. It's a very unique thing to the NBA, and it's a good thing. But
Well,
know.
I feel like hockey, you're right there too.
You are.
But there's
that
a definitive
barrier.
And there's something to be said for that barrier. I mean, I've had every year, a few games a year, I sit the first row behind the visitors' dugout at Phillies games. And just, I'm going to say 2 years ago, they put up a net to protect fans from, balls coming, at high rates of speed. And it is a huge change to the experience.
Right.
Putting up that net, I mean,
I don't like nets.
Instinctively, you wouldn't think it would make a big difference.
It obstructs the view.
It takes you out of, it's hard to explain, but it makes you feel like, all right, now you're watching it through a screen. I mean, it is a literal screen. Now you're no longer there. You're watching it through this weird screen where before there was like we're talking about, there was no barrier. You could rest your beer on the dugout and you're watching the action. You're right there. I mean, players would throw, signed balls all the time, have conversations with you. When you put that net up, there's actually less conversations between the players and the fans. And it's just a weird thing. Like, it really does decrease the value. I'm not saying monetarily, but the enjoyment value of those seats.
You brought up hockey, CJ, and I like hockey's presentation of it because it gives you the illusion of very limited barrier, right? Because of the plexiglass screen. It's, you don't really get a glare off it, especially if you're sitting right up against it, right? It's a pretty nice way to see the game, and it's almost like it's not even there until they smash up against it right in front of you, which is also a very cool thing. I don't think, obviously, that the NBA could get away with that. But what I would suggest...
That would be a huge mistake.
Oh, my God. But so I heard somebody mention today on ESPN that the Utah stadium is an old stadium, and there's less room between the seats and the actual court. I don't understand this because I don't know why you can't just move seats. Which brings me to my actual
monetary
solution.
value.
Well, this is what brings me to my actual solution: is why don't they just move the fucking seats back? Right? Why not?
What about like arena football,
Well,
where
what
it's
are we
only like
talking about?
the half?
Well,
half barrier.
This isn't the first time
What's
that
the
Russell
danger?
Westbrook.
I mean, because let's talk about the reality is that Russell Westbrook is having things said to him, and he's being a little soft about it.
He is being a little soft about it, but he's also gotten poked this year. He's gotten some kid did that to him.
By a kid.
Yeah. But
That's what kids do.
I'm saying though, but that could also not influence the game, but it could. First of all, nobody should be able to do that. Nobody should be able to do that.
Well, no, but that's
You
why
paid the
you get
money
kicked out of the game. When
Right. I know. I get it, but still,
Nobody should be-
why even open it up to that happening?
Nobody should be able to run onto a baseball or football field naked, but it happens all the time, and they get kicked out and they go to jail.
Right.
So there's real life consequences to these things. And, to quote the great Rachel Phelps from Major League and Major League 2. I think we're coddling these guys too much. NBA players have too much power. They're drunk with it. I was listening to local sports radio on the way down here. Howard Eskin, legend in the area, just talking about how much trash the NBA is. And it's an extreme opinion, sure. But the lack of defense, everything that's happened to the NBA has driven itself so pro-player. I mean, we're seeing it with LeBron, who almost literally runs the league.
I agree with that.
And the latest news now is that the fan who was taunting Westbrook, he's now banned from Utah games for life.
Yeah.
He's banned.
Yeah, I heard
and
that.
exactly what did he do that fans don't do all the time at games? The difference was Westbrook, he yelled back.
Well, I think it's setting a precedent that just because you buy the tickets with your money doesn't mean that you can go in there and act a fool and say some crazy shit like that, especially those seats, right?
But
because
there's
you're
always
right
rules.
there.
You could be thrown out of the game.
Right. He should have
been thrown
been
out of the game.
He should have been.
And that's
but
it.
that's the next point, though. So do stadiums have to step up security instead of moving the seats? Let's take that out.
No, I think players just have to stop making it a story. That's to stop talking back. And yeah, it sucks that they have this stuff yelled at them, but it's part of it. And once you start talking about like moving the seats back and increasing security, and you're now protecting the players who should be protecting themselves and the league's best interest by just shutting up. Like, it'll take care of itself. If there's a player yelling stuff at you that's going over the line, the player needs to go to whoever the team or league representative is and say, yo, by the way, that guy, he needs to go.
What would change your mind? More incidents where like players are poked or something like that, because that would change my mind. I'm on the fence with it. I'm going to be honest. I'm on the fence with it. As far as like Westbrook being soft and this being an actual issue, I think that like he definitely has some validity to his point that there is no line like there is everywhere else. Because like once he said that, I was like, he's absolutely right about that. You can't go to a football game and get anywhere near Carson Wentz. You can't get anywhere near him. Maybe at the entrance ramp or whatever. And warm-ups. Cool. They'll come over and toss the ball to you, whatever. During a game, during the whole experience, you can't get anywhere close to those guys. 0%. Same with soccer. Every soccer game I've been to, you can't get anywhere close to those guys.
Or you could just jump the bleachers and then go punch the guy in the head.
Yeah. I saw that. And that usually is avoided because the security is trained to run those guys down and make shit happen. And they totally dropped the ball on whoever got punched. I don't know who it was, but I did see that. I don't know. And I mean, it to me, it's I'm surprised nothing like that has happened in the NBA.
Yeah,
because it's such a close quarters. There's
Meta world
nobody in
peace.
front of them.
Meta world peace.
Yeah, there's nobody in front of them.
What was that?
There's only
Malice
people
in the Palace.
There's only people behind them and to the side of them.
But what was that? Was players going into the stands.
Yeah, Ron Artest went into the
So that's the
stand.
thing.
Yeah.
And
It goes both
you can
ways.
be surprised that it's never happened, but I think the fact that it hasn't happened, it's a pretty damn good case study. And I agree. I'm pretty conservative on these things. I was totally against Major League Baseball, and it's a litigious society we're in right now, so I get it. Putting up the nets. Because I said it's a slippery slope. Once you put up the nets, and they're doing all these things. They get rid of all the smoking sections in ballparks now. I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker. But
It's a pain in the ass.
I think it's a dangerous thing to start saying, all right, now, I mean, we're talking about outside. This is a ballpark. Outside smoking sections. Like, you're outside. I don't see the risk of secondhand smoke or any of that. I don't want to get into the weeds with all that. But my thing has always been when they put up the nets, the slippery slope of, all right, well, you got the nets that go halfway to the third baseline. Well, what about people beyond the third baseline? Got to protect them too. What about the outfield? Got to protect them too. Then the whole thing gets netted off. I mean, this is where we might be headed in 10 to 20 years. And it just gets further and further. And then the game's played in this big, glass dome. Let's protect everyone. And you know what? You take the enjoyment right out of the damn game. But who are we protecting? Who's been killed by a baseball? How many
That
millions
old
of
lady at the
baseball-
Dodgers game.
There is a confirmed death.
Exactly. But my point is, hey, one person died. Doesn't mean you get to kill the sport because of it.
I agree.
And that's the long-term effect. Everybody says, hey, if
She died post-net, too.
If only one person is helped by this, then
We
it's
need more
worth it.
nets in baseball. We need more nets in baseball, CJ. It has
The
to happen.
saying where you say it, whatever it is, if only one person is helped, then it's worth it. 99% of the time, that's bullshit. It's not worth it. All right? So it's just, yeah, shit happens. I mean, it's sad, of course, but what do you want to do? Do you want to shut down the whole league? You have to consider there are risks with every sport. Right now, baseball with their nets, they only go down like what, halfway down the third baseline. How can you say that's safe?
But I mean, you know what you're getting yourself
The Nets
into.
literally did not protect that lady at the Dodgers game. So what do? You raise the nets, you make them bigger. Like, what do you do? That's why I didn't like them opening up this can of worms.
I'm just going to...
You have the contract on the back of the ticket that says they're not responsible.
Listen, I got a couple more stories to get through. They're never going to ruin the outfield of baseball. That would be obnoxious. And heinous.
You know what?
They're never gonna
I
do
think
that.
it's unfair that
They're never going to do that.
if there's one home run hit, only one fan gets to go home with a home run ball. How about if a home run is hit, they return the ball, every fan gets to go home with a baseball. Everybody wins. It's its own little like participation home run ball.
Wow.
And you know what? One of those is actually real, but nobody knows which one. This is a great plan. So they all go home thinking, hey, this is the home run ball. Everybody's happy, right? Let's do it. Hey, why let one person be happy when we can let all 40,000?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Moving on.
Teddy Bridgewater ended up staying with the Saints when he had a chance to go to Miami to most likely start for the Dolphins. He chose to stay in New Orleans to back up Drew Brees, who turns 40 this year. Smart move or not smart move?
Do we think Drew Brees maybe had something to do with that he had to have had a conversation with Brees? Like maybe this is Brees' last year.
Could
Do we
be.
think maybe?
It could be.
Or is he just rolling the dice? Because
I mean, even if it's not Brees' last year, I would say it's his last 2 years.
he's only doing it because the expectation is he's going to take over after Brees, correct?
I would assume so.
And how old is Bridgewater at this point? I'm thinking maybe 28.
Yeah, 28,
CJ,
29
look
or
up
something.
Bridgewater's age. I know and he had a lot of talent. He could really throw the football. He just had a gruesome injury, was out at Minnesota, and hasn't had a chance since. He sat out. But you look at guys like Josh Rosen for the Cardinals. I mean, looking at tape, I'm not going to say I'm a guy, that breaks down
26.
tape.
He's 26 right now.
So, I mean,
Wow.
he could be a Steve Young kind of guy that steps in after Breeze. But, I mean, a guy like Josh Rosen, I'm on YouTube looking at videos, people breaking down the tape. This is a guy that just can't play the position. And it's only been 1 year, so give the guy a chance. But, Bridgewater came in on fire.
I think people are making a big deal about this because it doesn't happen very often. But I think he made an absolute smart move. The talent level on the Saints compared to the Dolphins is completely contrast.
And Tannehill was okay, but he wasn't. I don't think he had the brains to really pull off the quarterback position. And I mean, who's been a good quarterback? I mean, if you're just doing it based on the odds, we're just talking about the odds of getting hit or getting killed by a baseball in a stadium. How about the odds of being a really good Miami quarterback? You have to go back to Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And then it's like, Browns quarterbacks the past 20 years. Like, it's really
it's thin.
barren. We're talking like Jay Fiedler and then Ryan Tannehill are the two best over the past 20 plus years. So his odds of going there and being good, for whatever that means, and the Dolphins have stunk for a long time too. So I think it makes sense. You're backing up a 40-year-old quarterback. You're going to get the job sooner or later.
Yeah. Very quickly, because I want to do rapid fire. Deshaun Jackson is back in Philadelphia. Happy about it? Not happy about it.
Supposedly.
This is a rapid fire warm up.
One of those weird things because they can't really sign until tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
until yeah. whatever.
So I'm always like skeptic about those kind of things, like whether it's a really solid done deal, especially what we're hearing on Twitter all the damn time. All the Bryce Harper nonsense was basically lies 90% of the time.
Rapid fire warm up. Would you be happy if he was here or not?
Wait, who's this?
Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he's still one of the best deep threats in football.
Agreed.
I don't know how many years he has left. He was my favorite Eagle when he was here. Him and Mike Vick were my two guys. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think he brings to the team. The Eagles have been looking for a guy like him. They signed Mike Wallace last year, got hurt in the first game. So Deshaun Jackson is their guy. He's going to come in, be comfortable. What you need out of Wentz is that long ball that he didn't feel comfortable, I guess, throwing last year. It just wasn't, whether he wasn't healthy or not, he wasn't throwing that deep pass that Foles was way more comfortable throwing.
They haven't had a really good deep threat receiver either. So maybe the lack of wide open.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to help out both guys. So you got a guy who, coming off, now he's going to be a full year recovered, and he's a young quarterback, has all the tools. Deshaun Jackson's going to be excited about that, and it's got to make Carson Wentz more confident throwing that pass.
Yeah. Next thing, Nick Foles is potentially hot stove here,
right?
Signing a 4-year, $88 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars with $50 million guaranteed.
So now this is, before we get to that real quick, this is controversial. How do you say it? Jaguars or Jaguars?
Jaguars.
Wait, you go Jaguars?
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So you're saying Jaguars? Jaguars, right?
Jaguars.
Is that how you say it?
I guess. I think I mix it up sometimes.
People from Jacksonville say Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Not Jaguars. That's splitting the difference. They say Jaguars. This is 100% fact. People from Jacksonville, they call the team the Jaguars.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It should be Jaguars.
It really doesn't matter as long as you don't try and take a selfie with one.
I'm happy for Nick Foles if this is true. If this happens, that's fantastic. I think that they have a chance to actually make it pretty far. Total upgrade from Blake Bortles.
Just wondering if their team from 2 years ago was kind of a fluke or not. That's the only thing.
Blake Bortles more or less sucks, and Nick Foles doesn't. So I think we're gonna find out pretty quick. Because I mean, their roster, the way it's set up, they're definitely a contender for their division for sure.
I think you're going to see Foles' jersey is going to be a hot seller, and I think
it's going to be a hot seller.
I bet he's going to sell more Foles Jaguars jerseys in Philly than in Jacksonville.
That's possible.
Or it's going to be close.
That's very possible.
That's going to be a trendy thing. I mean, it sounds like a cool thing until you're going to start seeing them a lot around the city, and then it's going to be like one of those trends that turns sour. And you're like, it's lame. Another Jaguars Foles jersey.
I have one more story to talk about, but we're running out of time. Rapid fire? You rapid fire ready, Craig?
Yeah. I have
one
a
more
couple.
thing. I'm just going to read this. I don't even want to talk about it. Nearly 50 people have been charged for an estimated $25 million in bribes to get their children into elite colleges, more or less through their sporting programs. This includes at least 9 athletic coaches who took payoffs to put students on a list of recruited athletes. Former Yale soccer coach pleaded guilty and helped build case against others. Straight snitching. Stanford fired sailing coach, USC fired water polo coach, and UCLA suspended their soccer coach. So,
to quote Jesse Katsopoulos from Full House, have mercy.
Yeah, because one of them was Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
One of them was Aunt Becky.
William H. Macy.
Oh, is he on the list?
He's married to the one.
The other lady?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I believe so. I know he's on the list. I believe
goodness. It's a scandal. It's a scandalous event, and I'm not happy about it. With this is stupid. The NCAA's got to do a full blown investigation. They got to shut this shit down, or start paying these players. If you're taking bribes and all this shit, that's more ammunition for the pay the players shit. especially if you're going to put them on there with some bum-ass rich kids that never played this sport in their life. I heard some shit. Some of these people were paying $15,000 to people to take SATs for their kids so they can get in on these fucking things.
Well, apparently there was one person in charge that had it all lined up with the coaches, photoshopping stuff, SAT.
What? Probably an app for this.
Well, the highest one paid $1.6 million.
Holy shit.
All right, guys,
the
we
average
got
fee
breaking
was
news.
$250.
We got breaking news. You have a breaking news sound effect? All right. This is via Mary Chastain on Twitter. Or she's plugged in. She alerted me to a tweet from Mike Garafolo on Twitter right now. Breaking. The Browns have traded for Giants Odell Beckham. The deal is done. I am not joking. This was 28 minutes ago. So what do we think?
No way.
Odell Beckham with the Browns.
Who? What? No.
Which makes sense because the Browns were kind of in on Antonio Brown. And I think maybe Antonio Brown wanted nothing to do with that kind of thing. I think that was a rumor going around. And
NFL.com confirms.
No shit.
Browns Wire confirms.
Out here breaking news and shit that nobody's going to hear until tomorrow. Son of a bitch.
I'm trying to think. Did I just make that up? Was it? Maybe it was always Odell Beckham was the rumor going to the Browns. This is
I just saw it. It's
coming through.
Bleacher
coming true.
Report verified as well. Look at this. First look.
Oh, that's crazy. We're looking at Odell Beckham in a Browns jersey. And I love that they used a photo where he does not look happy about it. But I mean,
there's few photos of him happy about anything.
I know a couple people at work. They're going to be pretty upset about it tomorrow.
So the Giants are in full tank mode. Now this makes sense.
Full tank mode.
Foles is not. And now it's clear that they should have taken a quarterback in the draft last year instead of Saquon Barkley. Because, I mean, Barkley's got to be pissed. Like, now he's going to be carrying the ball 350 times a year for the foreseeable future. But it makes sense now that they didn't try to sign Foles because why? They're just going to ride Eli into the ground and get a top 3 draft pick the next 2-3 years.
Full tank mode.
So
Holy
I wonder what the
shit.
deal is. What do you think? Odell Beckham in his prime. I don't know what his cap number is. I'm guessing.
Wait. Did they trade for him?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is a trade. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah, he was not a free agent. So we're talking, the Antonio Brown deal. We're talking about a guy that's 30 years old. Odell Beckham's still in his prime. I'm guessing 27, 28 years old.
Yeah, the first comment on this thing is the Browns are America's team. Yeah.
People love the Browns.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. That's crazy.
They have a really talented team.
Significantly upgraded
They got,
over the past 2 years. Baker Mayfield's going to be killing it.
Chubb in the backfield. They got Baker Mayfield, really talented thrower of footballs. And,
All right. So here's what the Giants got. 2019 first round pick.
Yeah, it had to
number
be first.
17 overall. Cleveland's lower third round pick and safety Peppers.
Oh.
Wait. Peppers.
Jabril Peppers.
Was he the guy? Didn't he play? Am I confusing him with somebody else? Did he start his career with the Giants, or am I thinking of somebody else? I'm pulling up his stats
I think
right
he did
now.
play for the Giants.
I'm trying. I'm stalling right now. I'm totally relying on your Wi-Fi. No, okay, it was somebody else. Yeah, Peppers was drafted by the Browns, but yeah, he's an okay player. But this is an amazing deal. This is crazy. So we're talking about a first, a third, and a serviceable player.
Randy just texted me, so I
Under
guess the
contract for a
Giants
while.
really are rebuilding.
Oh, they're garbage now. Really fast, and I mean really fast.
Well,
Rapid fire.
the big one was the SAT scandal. But so we'll go with Knicks, James Dolan, banned heckler.
Yeah, saw this. Not a fan. He's a jackass. The owner is.
He should have sold the team.
Sold the team. Review, what do you think?
Yeah, this is. I mean, if it's true that he actually tried to get this guy kicked out, and now he's going like Dolan is going.
No, the guy's kicked out. The guy's said and done.
Okay, yeah. So Dolan's saying this.
He got the same treatment as the guy in Utah.
Right,
Yes.
right now he said this was like an organized ambush by the fan. And no, it was just, this is what we're just talking about. Fans say stupid things. They yell stuff.
It was his opinion. Like, it would be like someone going, "Oh, I listened to Might Be Sports.
Yeah.
I didn't like what you guys said. You're not allowed at the game."
Next.
George Foreman's daughter died of suicide.
Oh, why you got to go there?
That's sad, Craig. Rest in peace. Next.
Ex-Colt star Robert Mattis banned from bars and booze in DWI case.
Uh-oh. I didn't know Robert Mathis was having issues with that. I hope he gets better. I like Robert Mathis. He was a great player.
And that's the last one since we went over everything else I had.
Excellent. Go to the week time. The greatest of all time.
Of the week?
Mine is real simple. It's Joel Embiid. We didn't talk any Sixers this week, but Joel Embiid came back on Sunday against the Pacers. Put up 33 points, 12 rebounds in 28 minutes. Made a serious impact on the game, and they beat the Pacers to take over the third spot in the East. That is my go to the week. Joel Embiid is a beast.
Yeah, I mean, I kept racking my brain for who's going to be go to the week, and I was right in line with you with Embiid, and I could pick somebody else like the Sixers or the NBA playing real well. All I can, and you know what? Most of the time, I can only think about guys that are shitting the bed. Maybe that tells like where I am as a person. I just want to criticize everything.
That's everything, though.
But
everything.
yeah, so I'm just going to go the other way with this and say, the GOAT, a lot of people think is the GOAT, the actual GOAT, LeBron James. I think it's really weird. And I think maybe it's just the times we're in now. Whenever things start to go bad for LeBron, everyone jumps off the LeBron train entirely. Nobody has been so 100% one way or the other. When things are going great, he's the greatest. When they're going bad, everyone loves to say, "Oh, it's all over. This guy was never a good teammate. This is why he's not the greatest of all time." It happens with all players when they get towards the end of their careers, but especially with LeBron.
Yeah.
And it's really weird to see how his GOAT track is falling. And if he can rebound from this, we'll see.
Honorable mention for me. A few weeks ago, I gave Kyrie Irving a very hard time for acting like a little bitch. And he's really turned around recently. And he also made a statement basically to the fans of the Celtics apologizing for his behavior and acting a fool this season. So I got to give him some credit. But regardless, fuck him. Embiid's the guy for me.
Well, he's a big fan of the show, Kyrie. So, I mean, I'm sure he appreciates you reaching out like that. And
well, this was also Taylor didn't get banned.
Yeah, I'm banned officially from TD, whatever they play in.
Expressing his opinion.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done in Boston.
It's anti-fan in sports right now. I don't like it.
CJ, great job this week.
Thank you.
Kevin Reevey, fantastic as always.
So.
It was a great interview. Again, shout out to the ladies from Brandywine Roller Derby. Make sure you take a look at the Might Be News Facebook page. We're going to post their social media info in case you want to get into that or check it out. My name is Taylor Cooper, MBNnetwork.com.
Hey, new episode of Survivor tonight. And don't forget, guys, the new polos are out on WilliamMurrayGolf.com. Check that out.
They don't pay us. They don't pay us at all. You pay them.
In fact, I pay them.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Just to not get sued by saying their name.
Correct.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in tomorrow for the season finale of the Novak and Franz show, followed by the season finale of Might Be Brews on Friday. Next week is the season finale week for the rest of the shows here on the Might Be News Network, including a all-new Might Be Tunes next week. Thank you so much for listening.